All right. Okay. So this is kind of the theme. Savage is in the background, even though he's not seated. All right. So he's here. So everybody, welcome back to episode 4. This is coding versus programming. We're going to talk about Android debug level. So we're going to talk about ADB programming. And I just wanted to say this. We are very fortunate. Hollaturboi is here to school us. He's here to teach us. He's here to give us examples of why he uses. And just remember, he's King Pixel. All right.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So he has been down this road quite a bit. So I just want to talk briefly, and then I'll kick it over to him and start asking him questions. But I just want everybody that's watching to know that it's still viable to do ADB programming. So let's say, for instance, if you're trying to ball on a budget, if you're trying to get like that cheap LG, right, that's in Metro PCS, or hey, we've talked about Family Dollar having phones, right?
Right.
A lot of times those phones aren't updated. All right. And what you can do with the debug layer is the following. You can connect your PC to the actual phone, right? And you can take away programs, you can install programs. And where that's important is this. I actually had one of those cheap phones. All right. And there was an update that was never going to come. And there was one piece of software or APK that always was, it was one thing you could disable, but you could never remove. And every single time I booted up that device, I would get a thing that was hard for me to get past, where it's like, this APK crashed.
Yep.
And then I'm fighting it the whole time.
Yeah.
So it's like, well, guess what? Pull out ADB debugging. Guess what? Bye-bye APK.
Yep.
So that's kind of the reason why I'm hoping that everybody that's watching this will see, and after they hear LaShawn talk, that this might be useful for you, and you could see a place for it. So before I say a question, if you're not subscribed to LaShawn, subscribe to him now. Everybody in this chat should be subscribed to him. He's dropping great videos. He's one of the best YouTubers out there, point blank, period. So watch his content and learn. Okay. So LaShawn, I know recently you actually did some ADB programming. Did you want to talk about what that was and what you did?
Yeah, no problem. Recently, I did the monthly update for the Pixel 5. So I put out a video of how you can install this on your device without having to wait for Google to push it to your device. Because we all know sometimes it takes Google, 3, 4, maybe a week, possibly 2 for it to get to your device. And I'm the type of person that I like it day one. If it's available day one, give me that day one.
You get it. Yes. Yeah.
So I can say, screw waiting on Google. I can put this on myself. So, that's why I do it. And, and it's on Google's site, as soon as they drop the new releases, you can go right to their site.
You can go right there
and get it yourself.
Yeah. So just so everyone understands, there's a developer website that they host. So you can get the actual raw factory images and do what he's saying, load it through ADB. Now, I will just say this. I have Spectrum as my primary SIM. Okay. And sometimes the carriers will block you, right? Yep. So they'll slow down the updates. And I, like LaShawn, always buy unlocked phones. My Pixel 5 is unlocked just like his. We ordered ours the same day, right?
Yep.
So my Spectrum, and this happened not just to me, it happened to a couple of people. Somehow there is a bug in the system where mine was identified as a locked to Spectrum. So I was on an update from like months ago, and I was like, guess what? That's about to change. I got access to ADB, and we're about to make sure we set this party off right. And guess what? I got it. Now my phone is back to normal. It's like a typical, device. So, hey, I just wanted real quick to say to everybody that's coming in, I really appreciate you for coming in and listening to us. So LaShawn, what got you started down the path of doing ADB? Just like,
Well,
years ago.
yeah, years ago. Well, I want to say back in 2009 or 10, I had a roommate. And, back then, we was young, so we was battling, oh, my phone is better than your phone. You know what I'm saying? My phone can do this. So I outdid him. He got upset, and he went out and got a phone, the Droid Ares. And at that time, I had the LG Revolution. And one day he came to me and he was like, I bet you ain't got this. I'm like, man, get out of here. And he pulled it out. And I can't remember what OS that was on back then, but he was on the latest and greatest OS back then. And I was like, man, what about me? You know what I'm saying? So that got me upset. And so I traded that device for the HTC Thunderbolt. And then I found out that you can do flash ROMs and stuff on that. So I kept coming to him, hey, I got a new ROM, flash this on there. He flashed it with me, no problem. But one day I came to him like 5 times, like, hey man, flash this, take me back to that one, go back. He finally said, you know what? You're gonna have to learn this yourself.
Exactly. I'm not trying to do this all day.
Right. I ain't trying to do this all day, bro. I'm done with you. So he was like, here, man, you're gonna have to learn this on your own. And since that day, I've been learning how to do this on my own, and I finally, perfected it basically, because I could do this with my eyes closed. Like I walked a guy through it on the phone, and I was out at a club somewhere, and I walked step by step.
You got a lot of experience. Yeah. And that's the thing, like kind of going back to my segue, I got started not because I really wanted to install like ROMs or anything like that. It was really to take away problematic programs. And the one thing that's cool, let's say for instance, if you are a developer, like you want to develop your own Android you're going to use this, because what it will allow you to do, and this would help me, was, hey, am I losing my mind? Is this app really tripping?
Right.
When you load an app through ADB, you'll see all the debug. So you'll see it communicating to the screen and all that stuff. And then you'll see where it's having an issue. And it's like, no, this APK is screwed up. So let me bounce this right up out of here, So there's a lot of power. Hey, real quick, I'm gonna go right back to you, LaShawn. But
okay.
Savage, do you have any experience with ADB and all that stuff? I know you did ROMs
I
in the
read
past.
a few phones. The only ADB stuff I did was just doing stuff with the bootloader.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Just making sure a phone could be unlocked and Hey, I couldn't find my glasses. That's why I was late.
Oh no, you're good. You're good.
Yeah, I heard everything.
I was just making sure you were coming. That's all. That's all.
That was it. Yeah. Couldn't find the glasses to look all cool, so I had to put the plaid on.
You had to come normal.
You're stupid.
Yeah.
We can only have one cool one in the bomb. That's King Pistol right now. All right, you gotta give it up to the guests.
My glasses when LaShawn got my glasses and my nano leaf.
Yeah. So I'm just gonna put this comment up real quick. Bob is an iPhone guy, and that's one thing. And he doesn't really like to give Android a lot of credit. If you follow him in the comments, I know it's kind of slapstick, when he's saying and all that stuff. But he says Android has one advantage over iPhones: you can customize Android phones. Okay, so yeah, that's one thing that I can say without jailbreaking the iPhone, right? Yeah. There's stuff that we can do that doesn't void the warranty, right?
Right.
That gives you, so that's where ADB comes in. It's really powerful.
And once you jailbreak an iPhone, can you unjailbreak it?
That's a good point. I used to
we can go back and forth.
So that's, I'm not sure if you can, but I do know we can go back and forth. We can relock, everything.
Yeah.
Just like we were in there and we were out. So that's one of the positives. And the one thing too about the jailbreaking is you can do some of the stuff that we're doing, but fundamentally ADB really is push to the phone, pull from the phone, watch what the phone is doing, all that stuff. So but yeah, so are you thinking, hello Primpin, thanks for coming by. Are you thinking, so I think I kind of told you and this will kind of, and I'll ask LaShawn what he's going to do. So everyone, there are certain phones that have advertising. Okay, so Xiaomi, one of the reasons why they are cheaper, you know, pound for pound, if you look at what their specs are next to their competitor, is not just because they are not as well known. They still got to pay for those processors. They get a worse deal probably from Qualcomm's of the world, but they literally do advertising. So me and LaShawn kind of talked about this before the show. We've talked about it in the past. If I purchase a phone, what happens, LaShawn? Do I own it?
Yeah, you own it.
I own it. Why the heck? Hey, man, I already paid for it.
Right.
So I don't need you to advertise on my phone. These are my programs. This is how I want set up. So when I buy a Xiaomi, I might spend a little less. You know, I bought one for $200 that was competitive with $500 phones. Well, guess what? I went right to ADB and took out all the advertising apps.
All of it.
Gone. Whereas everybody else is like, man, I don't like this. And it's like, well, guess what? You got to learn ADB. Hit me up. Hey, right here. Hit up King Pixel. Hit up Hollaturboi. Watch his videos. Learn something about ADB, you know? So if we truly want to ball on a budget, we need to kind of learn some of these tools that are out there that are not hard. It just takes us time to kind of sit down and go through. And when we have great teachers like King Pixel, just watch his videos and learn something.
You know?
So
will you be putting more in depth, more tutorials on ADB, the relevance of it today versus how it was?
Are you talking to who are you talking to? Are you asking me or are you asking Hollaturboi?
He said that he don't think ADB is becoming less common.
He's talking to Jason. Because Jason
okay.
ADB is becoming less common.
Yeah, I really look at it as, you know, it's just shifting. Like back then, ADB programming was more relevant on the bootloader side, but now it's more on the application side.
Yeah.
I never used it, but just listening to what y'all were just saying, that's where I think it's becoming a lot of the unlock. Like I don't know if you ever use stuff like ASOP.
All
that stuff like that, where you have to unlock the bootloader. A lot of the stuff that these tools are doing now, ever since Android became granular with the permissions, they made it so, you know, you don't have to do that.
Yeah, they do make other interfaces to where you can just, you know, like for example, Odin. You open up Odin and you can just, you know, manually do it like that. And then it'll do the rest of it to do it for itself. So a lot of people, you know, like they do have this I forget what it's called for Android, but they do have something similar to Odin to where you just press a button and it does everything for you. And a lot of people are probably going that route because, you know, not too many people are doing ADB nowadays. You know what I'm saying? Like you don't hear about that no more. You know, people don't unlock bootloaders and stuff like that no more.
Yeah.
And
I think it's the apps that's doing that. What you think? Like
it's the app that does that.
Try to unlock a Huawei tablet for a research project, and I couldn't. Nobody could unlock it. They had people online scamming people, $50 for an unlock code for a Huawei tablet. So yeah, but then whenever you do run tools like Odin, you'll see when you start seeing all that, it is running ADB commands in the background.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And that's back. It's not gone. It's just
it's just in a different form. So to me, ADB is not going away. What's happening is they're making ADB more accessible to people. That's what's happening. So for me and LaShawn, it's going to be. It would really take someone a lot to convince us to not use traditional ADB. That's what we do. Okay. But if we can make this more accessible to people, because like I said, it's like there are still, we've given examples already. There are still reasons why you want to have access to this. And like I said, there are going to be times where you have a phone that's a perfectly good phone. You might have it for years out of warranty. There's no reason for you to actually trade it in, and your updates are messing up. And it's something that you can fix through ADB. As opposed to going, man, I don't have the money to pay for this right now. I don't have money to pay for a phone. I got a perfectly good phone that won't update. You see what I'm saying? So
Yep.
I had a Pixel 5 that Spectrum was like, guess what? Treat it like its own thing. Keep them on September security patch. And it's January. And it's like, guess what? Nah. I paid for this with my own money. It's gonna update just like a Pixel. And now my Pixel thinks like, okay, you were bought at the Google store.
Right. You were.
You see what I'm saying?
Yep. I remember Jay Will bought a Pixel. I want to say he bought a Pixel, and he threw on some type of Chinese ROM, and he was like, "Bro, I think I messed my Pixel up." And I walked him through it, and he was able to fix it to bring it back to the US version of this Pixel. So. Yeah, that was
that sounds interesting now.
Yeah.
Well, I'm gonna put this up real quick. Everybody see this? So Bob said, I just wish there were programs for iPhones to customize them without jailbreaking the phone. And I understand that. Yeah. I've got an iPhone phone through work and I can't jailbreak it, right? Work will be all over. Our IT would be like, guess what, man? Nah, we got too much stuff at risk for you to be jailbreaking your phone. So I have to keep it that way. And he goes, I might just get a cheap Android phone just to try some of the programs that you're talking about. And this is what I say, Bob, you can always have a secondary phone. You don't have, you can hit up everybody on this panel and Android people on the chat. We can tell you phones under $300 that are going to be solid, that you can play with, not have to worry about, man, I'm spending an arm and leg and I'm an iPhone guy.
Right.
So like, to give you an example, years ago, and I'm sure LaShawn did this as well, Bob, when it was hard to just get stuff in and out without iTunes on iPhone, I'm just like on my computer, FTPing tons of files over to my phone and back. You know what I'm saying? Like with the quickness, like I'm not even gonna break out a SD card and a dongle and OTG. I'm just gonna go ahead and do this,
Right there.
Exactly.
All right, so Jason C said, out of curiosity, what was the last ROM you minimally used? So what was the last one for?
The last ROM I used was on the M9.
Okay.
That was the last ROM I used was on the M9. And the name of it was Tiger's Town ROM or something like that.
Okay.
I was a part of a developer group that they made the ROMs. I test the ROM, make sure
you're a tester.
Everything was good. They taught me how to make kernels and stuff like that. And so I was that guy. So that was the last ROM because I was always on that.
Yep.
And I was probably like a while ago. That was a while ago. M9, that was a while ago.
How about you, Savage?
Mine was it was two of them at the same year. I'm thinking it was around the time the LG G-Pad was that was the big tablet by LG. I had I put Paranoid Android on it.
I was just gonna say
Paranoid is good.
That was
Android Pie. I mean Android, Paranoid Android Pie. I think that was 7 or 8 back then.
Yeah.
But that was a 2013 tablet.
Yeah.
So I'll just say this, Jason C. There's a lot of great ROMs out right now. It's a lot of people aren't doing ROMs like they were, but man, they are unbelievable now. But the bottom line is, for me, it was Lineage OS, and I'm probably So what I'm probably gonna do with my Essential phone, because my Essential phone just stopped getting further updates,
right?
Because the company's debunked now. But it was unbelievable before that. I'm gonna install Lineage OS on that phone, and no Google Play services. And that way I can kind of report back like, hey, this is a highly secure phone. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. What am I missing? Can I survive without Google Play service now? I'm always gonna have my Pixel now.
Oh,
I'm sorry, I'm always gonna have the Pixel.
I went back to that same case, definitely. So Paranoid Android was a good one. But I haven't flashed a ROM in forever. See, all I do now is unlock bootloaders and, you know, get my updates. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, no
it
Google
seems
Play.
like it's real hard to unlock them now, though.
No,
yeah, you have to. Yeah, so like pixels, yeah, you don't have to worry about it.
For a Pixel?
Oh yeah, you have a Pixel.
Oh,
I'm talking about
yeah.
unlocking Samsung, Huawei.
you
Yeah,
have to use Odin.
Yeah,
Samsung, you gotta use Odin.
Yeah, Xiaomi, Xiaomi is easier, you know. So there are certain companies that still, Asus literally encourages you. They're like, hey, throw a ROM on it.
Yeah, they encourage you to unlock it. They want you to.
If it was me, I would. I mean, I'm thinking that once they stop supporting a device, then why not unlock the bootloader? I mean, it just seems like that's the logical thing to do. Yeah, to just make it so, you know, it's supposed to be my device, but that's just the way of them selling you the S21 because your S2 you can't. I mean, you can't unlock the bootloader to throw some type of ROM on it.
Yeah. And that was the main reason why I thought.
And that's the thing, like for Android, go ahead, LaShawn. I'll go right after you because I'm interested.
I was saying, and that's the main reason why I stopped messing with Samsung, because I couldn't unlock their bootloaders and I needed that newness, you know. So yeah, I thought after that.
So I'm telling you guys about one of my phones, unbelievable phone that is dead effectively, right? Because the company no longer exists. But I can put Android 11 on it. I'll be able to put Android 12. It'll be able to live on through a custom ROM, all because I have access to an unlock bootloader and ADB commands, right?
Yep.
So I'm good to go. So I'm just going to say this, just not to kind of segue. I know we're kind of in the groove here, but if everybody can kind of in the chat put what is their primary phone. Bob, we already know you're an iPhone guy, right? So everybody else, if you can just drop it in the chat and we'll talk a little bit about that.
That'll be
you going to start it off?
That'll be dope.
I'll just start mine off.
Yeah, you know. Yeah, we already know. You know, of course. You know us, you know. Let's see.
And I'll even talk about Pixel too, because I hit up Savage about this.
LG 2.
Right. So Note 20 Ultra for Tech Valor, Pixel, LG. You said, what'd you say? LG what?
Well, I do have an LG G8.
What's your primary? It just says plus. Oh, Note 10 plus.
It said Note 10 plus.
Okay.
Even though it's broken.
Okay, I mean, so we got two Note 20. We got a lot of notes here. It looks like pixels and notes. One iPhone.
One iPhone.
Okay, Ray's got an iPhone XR XS Max. Okay. Yeah.
Okay. Ray's an iPhone guy. Okay. Stephen got a.
I want one of those Note 20 Ultra, but I'm stuck with this thing right now.
You say you want an iPhone?
I want a Note 20 Ultra.
Oh yeah, those are
Note 20 Ultra. Go get you one, dog.
Oh, but you know, it's just that, man, I just bought this thing. Well, when I say just bought, I'm talking about last year.
Hey, what's up, Mike?
So like right with the iPhone XR and X, which one is it? The XR or is it the XS?
Maybe he has both.
It's both of them.
Oh, yeah, maybe he's got both.
Because you know the XR is the smaller one.
The smaller one, yeah.
I think it's the 10.
10R,
right?
yeah.
The 10R, yeah, and then the 10S Max.
Mm-hmm.
The tennis match. Okay.
Yep.
All right.
Yeah. So the reason why I wanted to kind of know was to just kind of see how many iPhone people we have, how many Android people we have, and just kind of further kind of separate the fact that, hey, you get all these updates right on Apple, and Google is putting pressure on Qualcomm, right, to make sure we have all the updates. But hey, there's some customization that you get on Android that you necessarily don't get, even though you're getting those updates, right? So like a lot of times, like simple things, like there are a lot of iOS releases that if you update, you can't go back.
Yeah, you can't go back.
You can't go back. Yeah, and that can be problematic. If there's an issue, like your battery life suffers or something that's not communicating the radio and you're dropping calls, you know, hey. So
yeah, so that's some of the things with like whenever if you put a ROM on a Note, you know, there's some of the things that you definitely gonna lose, like that nice feature when that what is called Air Command.
Yes.
Like I I think I tried to put a ROM on the note. I was reading up on putting ROMs on note folds, and people were like, well, if you put something on there, then you're gonna lose air command, because they haven't found a way to port that off. Because unlike Google, you know, Samsung don't want you to port none of the apps, and then that's why you have to stay stuck with TouchWiz at the time, because you know air command was great. That's what made a note a note.
Yeah.
Hey, so let me just say this real quick. Now, Jason C, I'm gonna put it up, said the following. Actually, I just right when I did that, he will add that he's a carrier buyer. So he purchases phones through carriers, right? And the fact that he can buy an iPhone without all the carrier software really helps him. And what happens with a lot of Android. So if you go to Verizon, you better believe you're getting Verizon messages on every Android phone there, right? AT&T goes buck wild. I mean, the stuff that they put on their phones is just ridiculous. And that's why I say ADB is not going away. It's just you might have a different front end for ADB to make it easier and accessible to the non-techie people, which is great.
Yeah.
But that's the bottom line, because I don't want all that bloatware.
Right.
Right. I want to get rid of them. And the only way is to, unless you're going to disable all the apps and it still might cause an issue, is ADB and just get rid of them.
Just get rid of it.
Exactly. So look at Tech King Mike. The bloatware is insane.
Yeah. And another thing that ADB is good at, let's just say you take a software update and it messes your phone up. You know what I'm saying? Your phone won't boot into the OS or whatever. As long as that phone boot up, you can plug it right to your computer and do ADB command to fast boot.
Exactly.
And you can still get it working like it never happened.
Exactly. And that's the thing that people, and I know, like I said, we can go over people's head today right now, but I'm just trying to hope that people are hearing these little gems here and there, because I have to go back to Bob and Morandino. Here's an iPhone guy. iOS 14.3 and 14 were horrible with battery life, right? And what do? Me and if that happens, you better believe LaShawn and I have traded messages like, "Hey man, are you getting it?" And we sync up. Like, guess what? We're rolling back. We're not going to be stuck with bad battery life because we have access to ADB. You know.
Yeah.
So that's kind of the problem. Let me put up what T-Mobile. I mean, not T-Mobile. Bob and Borendino said. T-Mobile is the worst with bloatware and not unlocking. That's why I always unlock my iPhones within a week. Facts. You know, that's the thing. Like, they want to have you locked so you can't go to a carrier, but then also the bloatware is horrible, and it's just something that we can't rock with, and we have choices out there.
Yeah, look what Ray said. When he had his Note 4, he sideloaded a package disabler and it improved the
thank you.
Look at that.
Thank you. And that's the thing, man. Like Ray, I wanted to be. I know I can comfortably say to LaShawn, there is nothing about a Xiaomi that's going to make him leave Google Pixel based on what I know about him, what I know about myself, the reason why we like the OS. However, we can improve the performance of the device to make it appear almost as snappy as a Pixel by going in and disabling and taking away programs that are causing too much overhead. So that's one of the things. Let's see what Mike said. Carriers give you at least 10 apps, and not to mention, oh God, yeah. And the thing is, what people don't understand, hey, if you have to have Facebook, cool. I always keep one phone that I'm not really, I'll have Facebook on, but I don't really care about. Because Facebook is a drain on the phone, man. It is a drain on the phone. So you really need to have a dedicated phone for Facebook. And a lot of times, go ahead.
Oh, I was about to say, I really, really just, I can't even explain how much I hate Facebook right now. Yeah, especially with the app. You notice that, like, if you want to mute all your notifications, if your phone is on mute and somebody decides to call you on Facebook, it's gonna say, I don't give a damn about what you did to your phone. I'm Facebook, and I'm gonna override, and I'm gonna make that phone ring. So all of a sudden, your phone ringing, you in a meeting at work, and everybody else shit on mute. And now yours making noise.
Yeah.
And it's just like the only thing I can say is, and then sometimes, and then this is the last thing. I don't want to get off into a tangent with this. Is I hate whenever you disable stuff in the app, then you update it, and now all your settings are gone.
Yeah, they are.
Yes, exactly.
90% of Android apps.
Yeah. Yep. So now that
Facebook definitely does it.
But yeah, Facebook is garbage, you know.
Yeah, disabling it just ain't gonna get it.
No, it ain't gonna get it. Yeah, so yeah, get rid of it.
Why you would probably use ADB.
Yeah,
so
exactly. Get rid of it.
So you could just smash and destroy Facebook.
Exactly. Exactly. Yep. So yeah, so one of the things that Savage, I don't know if you ever tried it out, but you had did a video, might have been a year ago, and it was on the stock Google dialer, and you had used a certain APK. So I had hit you up in the comments. I was like, hey man, I don't know if you know, there is one branch of the APK, but just have ADB ready just in case it goes wrong. But it was the true pixel dialer. So it had call screen and automatic call screen, you know what I'm saying? So you could actually load ADB, see if it's working. If there's any problems, you look at the debug messages. Hey, I got to bounce from this. But it at least would give you that pixel experience, the true pixel experience, not just the dialer, but
yeah. So that's what I was. You remember how? Yeah, I remember that from earlier because I was saying in like when I was talking about the Samsung, how Samsung they locked down all that stuff. Like just imagine if you could just extract that part of the what is it called, the Air Command, all that S Pen, all the S Pen software.
Yeah.
In its own little APK.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
You can install that on Note 3.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
That'd be nice. A custom ROM on.
Yeah. So I don't want people to leave here and think they can solve the world's problems with ADB. There are certain things that you can't do. Sometimes they'll embed it in the OS. They'll be slick about that, right? So there are certain commands on Xiaomi, and I'm gonna hit LaShawn. If he says he's got it, I'm gonna send him, hey, you can't get rid of these APKs because they are part of the core OS. So the core OS is always going to look for that. So you might be in a situation where you're using your phone and all of a sudden your phone crashes because you've taken that off. Most of the time, like it would be like a Samsung that would do that, a Xiaomi, but most core Androids are not doing all that. You know what I'm saying? It's just like a Facebook app that's not part of the OS, right?
Yeah.
You know, so
and it seems like they pay the manufacturers to put that crap in their kernel.
Yeah, they probably do. I'm sure they do.
For some reason, will find its way as an uninstallable app.
Absolutely. Yeah, the manufacturer is getting paid. You know, so and that's my whole point. It's like it's cool that you're getting paid for it, but this is my phone. So I purchased a phone. I'm taking it off.
Right, I'm taking it off.
Right. So that's my thought process. And what's a tool that I can use? ADB. So that's how I roll, you know, and I'm sure that's how LaShawn rolls and all that stuff. So
that's how I roll all the time. ADB.
Exactly.
Because I remember me messing up a device
from your point of view, because you know I'm more of a programmer, and now I get to see how y'all using this thing, because when I see ADB, all that stuff happening, I'm like, I don't know what it's doing, but
and the thing is, all it is it's just a language, right? It's a language that you have access to. And I'll just tell you this right now. You can look, there are videos of people that are programmers like you and I, Savage, that literally will load the ADB library into like a Visual Studio or Visual Studio Code, and they'll sit there and code just like they're coding in Python. You see them, they'll make GUIs for it and all that stuff. So the people that have built Odin, that's what they did. They just made a nice little GUI for those little command wrappers, right?
And so, I'm guessing that is probably like like Odin and all that stuff. That's probably was written in. I'm probably guessing something like Python. But you know they have this thing, the Android APK. I don't know if you ever played with that.
Yeah, Android APK.
Yeah. So I'm guessing somewhere in between the native programming language and what they use the APK developing tools or Android Development Studio.
I have that.
That's where this would lie.
Yeah. I have the development tool, and I have what's the other one? I was just thinking of it when Savage was speaking. Android Kitchens.
Yeah, so that's like a something that sits on top of the Android development kit.
Android Kitchen, that helps you with like making programs or APKs and apps and stuff like that.
All right.
So yeah, I don't know nothing about that.
I use a lot.
Yeah, I don't
because
know that.
have stuff already built in. Yeah.
But give me just 1 second. I just want to explain this one more time. It'll be just like a summary for everybody. Because Miss Fuller came in late. So ADB is called Android Debug Bridge. So if you go into the settings of any Android phone, you can enable what's called USB debugging.
Yep.
So you could buy, Miss Fuller, a cheap phone. Let's say it's a $200 phone. Okay, $150 phone, and myself, LaShawn, and Savage have the same phone. We all have the same updates, but your phone, there's a particular app on your phone that constantly crashes, and you're like, and we go to you, why don't you just delete that? I can't delete it. And then we go, we can't delete it. So
yeah. Yep.
And on my Note 10, I have Android debugging or USB debugging on, because sometimes in order to get certain apps to work, you have to do that.
So you can hook up software called ADB on your PC, hook a USB port to your Android phone, and then find that offending software and remove it. You could even start the software on your app and see where it's crashing. It'll give you an output of where it's crashing. And you could even, if you wanted to go that far, you can just say, hey, well, Google, this is your phone. You can send it to the Google development team, and they're like, oh, well, wait, that's not supposed to be working. Okay, we need to fix our APK. If it's a $150 phone, you're not going to get that. You're just going to be able to go, I'm getting rid of that app, and guess what? I got my $150 phone, and it works great. So that's kind of what it allows you to do.
Yeah. Yeah. You just open up a command window and you're good.
Exactly.
All right.
Exactly.
Man, you got to do some of that on your channel, man. That like when
he just did a video, and I'm sure after this I'm gonna get hit up. So he's probably gonna do some more, because that's what LaShawn does. He actually does this.
Yeah.
You know,
that's the power of the Pixel, being able to do that easily too.
Yeah.
Man, you should be able to fire up a full-blown Linux terminal and do all kind of Linux related stuff.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Miss Fuller, just to bring it all the way home, you remember it was not last, like a lot of times if a stream, we can go, oh man, I started uploading something, or someone is on the internet in our house, right? There was a stream of hers recently where we couldn't figure out why it wasn't as optimal as it should be. Like there's nothing going on in the house and all that stuff. With ADB, if you could literally look at the commands that your phones are sending to go, oh, okay, well, shoot, my internet is fine, all this stuff, but my phone is doing this, So it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So is that good, man? I mean, so that's.
ADB is powerful, man. Like I said, it's a debug terminal. So the most of the time, what LaShawn and I do, right, and you stop me, LaShawn, is we're just interacting with, sending commands to it, pulling files and all that stuff, doing updates, like putting the and executing them. But you can run it with. And you can look at your, if you want, you could actually mirror your desktop. So if you see the offending app or whatever, you can see where it's being removed or it's being executed, and it pops up. But you can see everything it's communicating to. all the debug things. So if it's sending commands out, like if it's going accessing the internet, you can see that.
Yeah.
And it could be as simple as it's going to a website that don't exist anymore. And that's why your program is failing.
Yeah.
Man, so damn. And I would love to see something like that.
Oh yeah. No, like I said, he's got some
what
stuff.
I do, it's the
Like,
easy.
in order for me to see my phone doing stuff like that, I would have to connect it to my router and run something like a packet analyzer.
A packet analyzer. Yep. And really, do you want to do that when it's really not about you running a packet analyzer? You can hook this directly to your phone.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean to your PC. So it's like just
go back
see
to
that
your phone and look.
Exactly.
Now you have to go find that program, the port it's using, and all that stuff. So really, you just saved yourself a lot of time.
Absolutely.
Yeah, basically. And the way that I did it, because there's two ways that you can do it. You can either do it the easy way, which is the way that I do it in my videos, or you can do it the more advanced way and flash each one of these IMGs individually itself, and make sure you know that this went through, installed. Okay, this one right here installed, because it'll tell you install, or fail. It'll tell you that. So
and that's the thing that people, they don't realize how hardcore LaShawn is. They're thinking he's doing and hey, I do the normal updates unless I need to intervene, like I had to.
Exactly.
But he's flashing those images every single time.
Yeah, every single image.
So I'm usually like a day after, I'm like, okay, the image is here, boom. But he's like, guess what? I know this can be a day after or a week. You already advertised this. I need it. You know what I'm saying? That's how LaShawn rolls. So, you know. But hey, I wanted to do this real quick because we can keep talking about this, but we can talk about other things. I know one of the things that we talked about was balling on a budget. And I kind of started a thing. So I'm gonna open up to the to everybody in the chat. If you have any questions, please ask if it's related to this. I know I had mentioned eSIM last week, you know, about possibility of that saving you money, right, with your cell phone service. So that's kind of what we're here for, man. We believe this is a good topic because there's things that you can do with ADB that can turn a cheap phone into a more powerful phone,
right,
and possibly save you some.
You just have to make sure you get the correct phone. You just can't go out there and buy
get any phone.
LG Stylo 6.
Yeah. So and that's where you reach out to us because we'll be able to tell you, you know. So we won't come back with get an iPhone. Oh, ADB don't run on iPhone. You know what I'm saying? We're not going to do that.
I don't think ADB programming could or anything could like LaShawn said. You knew I was gonna mess with that stylo, man.
Yeah,
I don't even think holy water could fix it.
You know what I'm saying? Ain't nothing fixing that.
Stylo, man. That's kind of like, man. That's a Dollar Tree phone, there, man.
Yeah, that unfortunately the stylo is hurting a little bit, and that's LG. LG shouldn't have done that, you know.
Right,
so.
They knew better.
So I don't know if you saw this. Our boy Bob Imborndino always uses eSIM. So my next follow-up question to you, Bob, is: you use eSIM? Do you have a physical SIM in your phone as well, or you just use eSIM?
Yeah, just like Eric say, don't turn it on, dog. You be good. They said he's using a MediaTek. Oh my god.
That's
MediaTek. Ugh.
Yeah.
I don't think I ever had a phone with a MediaTek processor.
I haven't. I know they have one high-end MediaTek now. That was in the LG on some of the LG Velvet variants. That was pretty good, but outside of that, it's trash. So yeah, I'm waiting to hear back from Bob to see if he also uses a physical SIM, if he uses dual SIM basically with his iPhone, or if he just has eSIM.
Activated my eSIM. I should. I haven't activated it.
So yeah, so I have that. So I can kind of tell you about the caveat. So the thing is it's really good in the sense that if, let's say for instance, you find a MVNO like a Mint Mobile, and the speeds are great. So he goes, I just use the eSIM. I need a dual SIM on my iPhone because okay, yeah. So I'll give it for Bob's perspective. Bob, this is what you do. You work on T-Mobile, right? You have T-Mobile, and there's places in Southern Illinois that don't work. Well, more than likely, AT&T or Verizon will work over there. So I would recommend that since you already have your T-Mobile on eSIM, get a Visible SIM to try, which is Verizon's wholly owned company. They're not an MVNO. They are owned by Verizon. And what you're going to do, and you can contact me and I can walk you through it, you're going to make your eSIM with T-Mobile, because that's the line that everybody knows, designated for calls and texts. Okay. And your Visible line will be designated for data. And what's going to happen is when you go to Southern Illinois and you are ready to make that phone call, what you're going to see, your phone will say, or your iPhone will say, T-Mobile, not Wi-Fi calling. It will say T-Mobile using cellular data from Visible. Let me go ahead and make that call. So you'll always be able to make your T-Mobile call if you research and make sure that Verizon or AT&T works on your SIM, and that saves you money, because you could literally, if you're using Visible for data, you could drop down to the T-Mobile Connect plan that's $15 prepaid, which is going to have the same priority as far as calling, and then a $25 Visible plan. So
so Visible have 5G as well? Since
it does have 5G. So now the one thing that they're doing, that Verizon is doing, because they know Visible has 5G, it has unlimited data, unlimited hotspot data. So what they've done is cap their 5G. They capped you to 200 megabits per second. So even though it could go up to 1.1 gigabits per second, if you're in one of those markets, they're going to keep it at 200 gigabits per second. You see what I'm saying? So, and that's just because they're like, dude, it's $25, man. We can't, we want you to buy Verizon postpaid, but if this works for you, we got you. Yep. So Gigi, this real quick. Gigi does Visible and Mint Mobile. She loves it. Yeah, and it saves her a lot of money. Me and her have saved a lot of money from being on Verizon proper and the AT&T propers of the world and the T-Mobile propers. So one of the questions that let me see that Jason C had is, have you ever looked into Google Fuchsia? Do you think Google ever moves to it? I have looked into Fuchsia. The challenge with Google is going to be that Android keeps getting more and more accepted. It's been around for a long time, we know, right? But Ford just announced that they're switching all of their computers to run Android. It's not going to be their own proprietary OS. So it's going to be a challenge. It's going to be one of those things. They're going to develop a product and it's going to have to explode, because right now Android is getting into more places. And that's my opinion. So
they'll probably do it in the future or something like that, but not right now.
Yeah.
Not right now.
Absolutely. So yeah, LaShawn, if you can try out the eSIM,
I'm trying to
give it a try.
That sounds pretty slick. Pretty slick. I like that. I'm gonna try that. Yeah, I'm gonna have to try.
And just so we know, I'm saying it like flippantly, right? eSIM is available for Pixel, iOS. Samsung has it, but Samsung hasn't really pushed enough to the carriers to allow them to implement it. But most of their phones support eSIM, so you kind of have to really fight your carrier to make sure they let you have it on. Yeah. So.
Yeah. Kimmy, I haven't tried it because I'm obeying by your rules. You told me I can't use it until he gets
until he gets that Xiaomi.
Yeah, so I'm being a good boy.
Yep, absolutely.
And if it is expired, I need to send me another one.
Yep. So do the eSIM allow you to use the GSM and the other CDMA?
So if you have two CDMA phones, I think they'll both be LTE. Now remember, like if you're going Visible, it's LTE only. It's not CDMA. It was really done. They started making money with it but it was really kind of done because a lot of people were straggling on their having 3G devices connected to Verizon, and it allowed them to test their network to see how viable it was with just LTE, right?
Right.
So yeah, if you have 2 CDMA, you know, it's not going to do it. If you have 1 CDMA and 1 GSM, it will do it. It will support that. So like I've got that now with Spectrum and T-Mobile on my phone. But I just always try to encourage people to do it, because if you have a business, let's say you have a business, you could have it on, you can carry one phone, and you can get, if your phone is idle, you can get calls to both phones. You can text from both numbers, you know, and you can choose to say, hey, kind of hide that, you know, you have a lot of flexibility. Like, hey, I only get calls on this one, just use this one for data. And you can do that.
Yeah, that sounds cool. I like
that.
Yep.
Yeah. And what the reason why I like to kind of preach about is it saves you money.
Yeah. Now,
you see what I'm saying?
Is what's Google Fi? Who will they run off of?
So Google Fi runs off of T-Mobile. It used to be Sprint, but T-Mobile was always Sprint, and US Cellular. So it switches between the two, and you can have it on eSIM or you can have a regular SIM. Yep. So a lot of times, because they charge a premium for their data, people will get it for eSIM, and then they'll get another carrier like Mint Mobile for their data, or someone else.
Yeah, I know they do charge a crazy amount.
Oh my, it's crazy. I can't rock with it.
Yeah, I was gonna do it, and then I said, "What?"
Yeah, you're like, and you use unlimited data? No, it would kill you. It would kill you.
I be using like 80 gigs or something like that.
Exactly. So yeah. I think you're good with T-Mobile. Like even Mint Mobile doesn't have a true unlimited plan. Yeah. So they top out at 35 gig, and then it's slow data after that.
Yeah.
So you know that probably wouldn't work with you.
No, I'll be cool, because you know I'll just use my main for all my data.
Exactly.
You know, and then you know the B11 will just be, you know, something to play with.
Exactly. Yep. That'll be perfect.
Yeah, I have no
problem. So LaShawn, so I'll just say it again just so I can promote. You know, LaShawn has his own channel.
Hey.
The link will be in the description.
Hey.
So it goes by Hollaturboi on and you can just type it in YouTube.
Check me out.
Check him out. Great videos. He is a lot of Google focus on his channel, but it's all great information.
Yeah.
And if you have anything you want to promote, if you want, like, is there new video coming out you want to talk about?
Oh yeah. I got a new video that I'm currently working on. Hopefully I can get this out tomorrow sometime. So yeah, be on the lookout.
All right, cool. Savage, you got anything you got coming down just dropping LaShawn's YouTube in the channel below?
I'm thinking I'm gonna be doing my 5th data structures video.
Okay.
This one is gonna be on trees and hash tables. This is probably going to be the last one.
Okay.
Before I start actually programming in those data structures.
Mm-hmm. Okay, cool. That'll work. And I gotta, I'm gonna tell you, I got busy with work, so I gotta film all weekend. So I gotta get back on the grind. I got caught without having one video in the chamber. So
one in the chamber.
Yep. So that way, if I go through
links.
Yep, exactly.
You know, I did want to talk about one thing.
Oh, yeah, go ahead. We got 5 minutes. Yeah,
I think I mentioned this earlier in the week, Barry. You know, the defined coding versus programming.
Okay.
And I look at it as you know, and this is what my video, I was going to drop a video on coding versus programming. I probably will. But I just wanted to talk about what is coding. I think coding is just is like a person who is kind of like almost writing smaller projects, and programming, but really not damn it almost sounded like, but programming is more.
It sounded like, but no, it's the bigger thing. Yes,
I would say programming is just a name it's kind of like when if you work at home, you cook at home, and when you get hired by Jubilee's restaurant down the street, you're a chef. So when you're a programmer, that means that your formal job title as a coder. That's it.
Yeah. So the way and part of the reason why I wanted to name this podcast "Coding versus Programming" is what you said. So LaShawn and I could say, hey, you know what? There's something that we don't like about Google TV. We don't like how the like when we go into the setup, all right, we don't like how when we select like 4K or whatever, we want more menu choices, let's say, or whatever. We could code that up to where it's like, okay, I want to select 4K 60, I want to say 4K 24, I want to get more choices. But the programmer is going to look at the whole interface. How does the interface from the setup file to the main screen and all that stuff get together? Another case in point, if I have a Google Home, I have multiple Google Homes, right? I have bulbs and all this stuff. If I say, hey, turn on the stream setup, Google, right? That is the overall program. If me and LaShawn were like, hey, I want to change that light to blue, just a little off blue, that would just be something we would code up. It wouldn't be the whole interaction. And that's what programming is. Okay. So yeah. But anything else? Hey man, we appreciate you having me. It's an honor to have you. It's an honor to have
all over the world.
Oh yeah. And like I said, this is something that, like, Savage, I know you got used. There's certain things that you're like, wait, I didn't know ADB had it like that. You see what I'm saying? So I think it's good to kind of expose. I know these aren't the most popular things that people talk about, but it's something that could help you. You know, it could be it literally could be you getting rid of a phone that's out of warranty when you could have held onto the phone because you had access to software to fix that phone, right?
So, yeah. Old phones, they make great security cameras.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. And guess what? I've got a Moto E4 Plus as one of my security cameras. A Moto E4 Plus. And it just runs perfectly, you know. And all I did, ADB, get rid of all the bloat. Yeah. And pretty much the only app on there is the security app.
I'm using the Kindle Fire as a what's the name? As a monitor or whatever. Old Kindle Fire, ADB files.
Yep. Yeah. Happy Valentine's to everybody.
Happy Valentine's Day to everybody. If you got somebody special, I ain't got nobody, so
hey, still happy Valentine's.
I got married, so I'm cool.
Yeah, that'll work. Hey, so with that, I'm just gonna say we appreciate you again. LaShawn, we really respect you. You know, we love what you're doing. We enjoy what you're doing with your channel, and just wish you continued success because you just get better every time. Every video gets better. So we're excited. And everybody check the setup. The setup, he got probably the most fire setup out of everybody. I mean, dude is just coming in strong. So
yeah, I had to paint,
my wall back there, man.
Hey, we get in there. Hey, we start from the ground. So Savage, you have any last words you want to say?
Hey, I mean, my last word is happy Valentine's Day. 10 blue hearts to everybody.
Hey,
that's how I write it.
All right. Yeah. Cool. Hey, well, with that, we out.
Peace out.
Join us next week.
Yes, sir. Later.
Peace, everybody.